Alright. USA, you are ready to go? Cuban, you are ready to go? Truck, are you ready to go? Alright. So here we are in the second Final Four matchup. We have the number 1 seed USA taking on the number 4 seed Cuban. Let's see who takes it. One thing to talk about though as we get into this game, our previous matchup, the number 5 seed Taco, who's going to be taking on the number 4 seed Cuban, we could not get that matchup in due to some difficulties scheduling that event. Did hear from Cuban though, Taco was unable to continue to partake in the tournament, so here he is, taking his spot in the Final Four game. So here we go, we'll see who moves on to the championship round to face the number 3 seed user.
And I'm probably not going to be very vocal.
That is fine.
I've been experiencing a severe lack of energy the past couple of days.
So that is perfectly fine. We'll let hopefully the two contestants here flesh out the commentary for us, as school has been rough getting back into it. Gotta love those college classes. Alright, Truck, pick someone you want to follow, I'll follow the other guy.
I'll follow Cuban, I'm already behind him.
Alright, following USA. Looks like USA is the Avenger. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Did change on me, okay.
Hey, where are all these enemies?
USA is going pretty quickly around this map right now, making short work of some little enemies here. And also, everyone, I will only be checking the scores at the end of each wave, and probably more so throughout the very last wave, as a little piece of advice I've got from Cuban himself, which is good for the overall viewing pleasure of the tournament. Alright, so far a pretty relaxed game, not too much aggression going on with all these enemies. Opponent, or our contestants taking their time.
Oh, bitch. Die. Wait, where's that fucking fire coming from? Oh, hi.
Guard yourself.
Alright, down to the last 3. USA's by 2 of them. Cuban looks like he's by the other one. Wrapping up the first wave here. Let's see who's on top. It is USA by around 1,200 points.
Oof.
We'll move into wave 2.
I
Now
am
following
transitioning to USA.
I believe our opponents are a little bit too close to the spawn there. They forced the spawn somewhere else. Cuban's still looking for an initial spawn to rush. Playing that Krogan Vanguard, he can get around the map pretty well. You just gotta find the right spawn and go for it. Seems like the spawns on this map though right now have already dispersed. Oh, we have something going over here.
Dog got in my way. Damn.
Bouncing back and forth between the rooftops is a pretty good strategy for Cuban here as a vanguard. However, coming down at the end of this wave, USA is getting around with Avenger Strike himself. Down to the last one who's going to take it. It looks like USA's there. So is Cuban.
All clear for now.
USA does take it after the second wave here. 7,000 to around 4,300. USA on top. Going for the hack. I'll be following USA after the hack is done.
Intelligence needs data.
However, Truck, if you want to go ahead and take that, I can follow both contestants.
Okay.
Of course, everybody can still jump on it if they like. Looks like that's what they're mainly doing.
Guard yourself.
Useless shields.
Sounds like USA found an ascendant.
Get to cover.
Going out into the action a little bit more, though. Truck finishes up that objective. Of course, Cuban is helping a little bit. USA is opting for the attack approach and staying up and about. Hack is nearing completion. Cuban and USA are both now out and about on the map.
Data received. Loud and clear.
USA is on the upper levels, trying to find him. Now he's back down there.
Three more to go.
Down to the last three here on the third wave. We'll see who takes this enemy over here by me. It looks like there's only two left. Cuban does take that kill. One more above here. USA looks like he's closing in on the target. He is there and does get the kill with the shorty after the third wave. USA is on top. 12,809.94 there to 10,880.
Hey,
Sorry,
I closed a little
everybody.
bit of the gap.
Yep, that is closing the gap, and sorry for my really lackluster pronunciation of numbers, because my brain is full of numbers after today. As a math major, I look at way too much of that stuff. But alright, back to Cuban for this wave. Still taking the rooftop approach, it looks like. Bouncing back and forth. We are getting into some meteor enemies. We'll see how this does affect the later waves for point values. USA still stalking around the map with his hurricane, taking kills where he can.
Hell?
Ooh, narrowly avoids that fiend.
Squad member down.
Coming for a revive. Nope, he does get up. Bails off to sub-level. Fiend is down here with him.
Oh shit. Get off. Nope. Nope.
Does get picked up by
I
the Fiend.
dashed backwards. Fuck you.
Teammate injured.
I'll be that soon.
There for a revive. Both working on the Fiend. Who will take the Fiend kill is USA with the shorty.
Shield down.
Three more to go.
Down to the last three here on wave 4. He went the opposite way. Yes, he did.
How the hell did he make it all the way up there?
Last enemy on the field.
Pistols are done. For shotguns.
Who will get this last anointed? They both jump on the target, and it is Cuban with that.
We triumph.
As the end of wave 4 here, we have USA 17,250 to Cubans 13,960. Still a decent lead for
Okay,
USA.
Transitioning to Cuban.
Enemies incoming.
Going to USA.
Find safer ground.
Cuban can still
Ow,
catch
I
up
forgot to
here.
put my- damn it! No wonder I went down. Forgot my armor.
Ooh, a fiend.
However, USA, being an Avenger, does have a bunch of stealth grids in his back pocket.
Teammate injured.
Go. I'm on my way.
A lot of action over here.
Oh no.
Cuban is down again. Truck going for revive.
My shield.
So far, competitors are being a little bit more silent on this game. Concentration is key here, coming down to the later rounds.
Ascendant.
Looks like we got an Ascendant left, and that's about it.
Oh, is that it? Ew.
USA quickly making work that Ascendant with the Shorty. At the end of Wave 5, we have USA still on top, 24,000 to Cuban 16,000.
Oof.
Starting to open up a decent gap.
Intelligence
All right.
data from your
Got a
Same
hack down here
location.
again.
Seven?
We'll be following Cuban after this objective is done. Looks like Cuban is opting to stay in the objective for extra points from that. USA is still continuing to go around the map. Both contestants now coming a little bit closer to the objective, trying to mop up those enemies that are wandering over. Out into the action here, seeing what our contestants are doing. Cuban does go back into the objective. I'll go back in as well to help him move along. Everyone is in here, looks like, now moving out. Be following Cuban here as this wave comes to an end.
That fucking chasing me.
Three left. Go get them.
Alright, as Kendra says, we are down to the last 3 enemies. I'll go ahead and back up and see where they are. There's a Fiend on the bottom, it looks like, another Destin near the rear of the map. It looks like the other enemy was taken care of already. USA and Cuban going after the Fiend, who will take this kill. Looks like it will be USA taking the Fiend, kill with the Shorty. The
Ooh,
Destin
where's my fire
is
explosion?
right down below, and USA does take that kill. Coming into the final wave, there's about a 10,000 gap between USA and Cuban.
That would be my cryo ammo.
Shuttle incoming.
Alright. To use everything he has. to try to make up the gap.
Yes. I need you guys to stop killing enemies and just let me do it all. And if
Well, we
you
haven't been
have some way
killing
to, like,
anything.
make the wave last longer.
Oh, it's extraction
Tell
wave now.
Andros to fuck off for a few minutes while I get some extra kills.
Now our players are becoming a little bit more vocal as we wind down the game. USA looks like he's playing a little bit more conservative here, but he is going around killing a few targets that are unprotected by his allies. And since this is extraction wave, I'm going to be looking at the score a little bit more in depth. Go taking on Ascendant, double Ascendant actually. USA's right in the middle of it. Cuban is fighting up top. Looks like it's around 30, it's still around a 10,000 point gap, 33 to 23. Getting a little bit of action of Cuban over here as we wind down, still doing his melee, but he's going to watch out for that Fiend though.
Shadows
40 seconds left on the clock. A lot of enemies up top now.
Alright, every man for himself.
As Chuck has said to LZ, our contestants should be moving over slowly as well. USA still on top by around 11,000 points.
Shadows hide us.
And it looks like, from this point, USA will be moving on to the championship round to face User.
Full team secured. Good work.
Great game, guys. Hard fought. Cuban, you did a great job in there. How do you feel being part of this tournament?
Well, you know, I came into this tournament going all melee, and I went out with all melee and thought it would take me all the way, but apparently melee is not the OP strat it was getting into this multiplayer game, but you know, I stuck to my guns, well, stuck to my not guns, and yeah, I guess it just didn't pan out this time. It's, you know, it's okay. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Spoken like a true contender. USA, you are moving on to the championship round to face User. How do you feel about the upcoming matchup?
My hands are shaking right now.
Well, they're going to be shaking even more because we're going to get him in here next. Thank you all for watching the tournament so far, and we will have the championship round coming up here soon. Please stay tuned, and we'll see what happens in that game.